Hello, good morning.
Hello.
So, this topic was almost going to be about spatial awareness, part three. Um, just realizing that there are so many layers to this topic and the effects of the feelings that arise when one of us is looking to have some space for ourselves. And to give context to that, last night Harry was feeling ready to have some space. And so he spoke that to me in a very calm way, just letting me know that it had nothing to do with me and that he just wanted to ground into himself. And even still, it had this impact on me. And there was this internal dialogue of me saying, okay, if you want space, then I will create that space that you're asking for, and it will be there until you take some kind of action to make it go away. So you need to come back to me and fix this. And I could tell in the tone of that voice that it wasn't coming from my centered highest self, like there's this like bitterness or aggression in a way. And so the question is, where is that coming from? Why is that something that's arising in me? And also recognizing that there is this reality in which I can say, all right, babe, yeah, that sounds great. I'll enjoy the space as well. We'll just have a night where we're just really dropping back into ourselves, and we'll come back together in the morning and everything will be great. So if there are these two realities that exist, why is it that my tendency is to fall into the one that doesn't really feel doesn't feel nice? It doesn't feel good for me to be like, yeah, well, you'll have to do some work to come back.
Yeah, we've talked about this idea before that there are many voices and many parts to each and every one of us. And so Lavina is using the words of like these two realities, and I sometimes think of it as different parts.
Yeah.
And so when Lavina spoke to this, saying that there's this one part of her that can be like, oh yeah, babe, we'll meet up in the morning. And then there's this other part, which the voice of that part is a little louder at this moment, and it's saying, oh, you want space, I want space. And recognizing that there are these parts, I just posed the question, oh, so yeah, that's just a part of you. What part of you is that? And then Lavina, with a, just like this emotional shudder through her body, realized, okay, we just struck a chord.
Nice. Yeah, that's right. It was like, and this is something that happens when we're working through and when we're dropping into the space, like, okay, here's our dialogue where we're working through whatever this challenge or disconnect is, and something is said that it hits me. That is an emotional shudder, and I felt like, oh, there it is. There comes a moment of, I feel that tears are coming. Okay, so I know we've touched something. And what it was today, what we struck, was recognizing that it was this wounded part of me. There's this wounded younger, not even necessarily younger, but this wounded part of me that feels hurt in some way from past experiences. So, what we then shifted to look at is, wow, how does the past impact our present?
Yeah. Yeah, and there was a part of me that was beginning to get impatient with Lavina for being upset with me. Because I'm like, hey, what the heck? You're supposed to like give me space. And then once we had identified there's this wounding, these parts, and we both share this like striking of a chord, then I actually realized, oh wow, like not only has Lavina's past relationships probably contributed to this feeling, but also I have some responsibility here. And that's also another focus of this session here, is acknowledging that our relationship has been a journey. And who I can look back at the beginning of our relationship and I can recall times that I did not communicate compassionately and that I did get angry, or I turned very cold and numb.
Mm.
And this is all part of remembering what is the purpose of our relationship.
Mm.
For us, we've decided the purpose of our relationship is for personal growth and evolution. And so recognizing that in the past, when I have said things to you like, maybe we need a little break, maybe we need space, or I've just been completely cold to you, or I've gotten very angry at you, all of these things, I would imagine, can then create some sort of sensitivity in Lavina to any time that I do express a need for space.
Yeah.
And having that awareness just allows me to be even more considerate and compassionate as we're navigating this.
Right. Yeah. And you mentioning that today was helpful for me because I tend to reflect back to the past, to my past relationships, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe this is coming from that. Maybe this is coming from that experience. And not that it's absolutely necessary to pinpoint where it's coming from, just recognizing that, wounding can come from so many things. And just when there's an awareness of that, I think it creates space for compassion. And when there's space for compassion, then there's a softening that happens. And in that softening, I think that's where the healing or the transformation or the shift in the present experience can unfold.
Yeah. I think we've said it before, but it can be applied to a relationship. It can be applied to every single interaction with an animal, with a human, with a tree. Every behavior expresses a need.
Can you say that again?
Yeah.
Like feeling that,
Yeah.
really.
Every behavior expresses a need.
Yeah.
And if I can remember that when someone is yelling at me or when someone is being cold to me, I can just ask, oh, what does this person need right now? And maybe I can fulfill that need, or maybe I can help support them in fulfilling their own need.
Helping to recognize what that need even is.
Yes. And so with this one here, it's just, a need. I like that you said there's just like this space for compassion.
Yeah. And it feels nice, even the fact that there's this tension going on and both of us are still committed to coming together, even when it feels challenging or it feels like one of us is annoyed. It's like, all right, but this is our commitment. And you spoke to, our understanding of the purpose of our relationship. And of course, it's a lot more expansive than that. But I think just remembering the why, like, what is the why? Why are we together? And yes, a vehicle for our growth and to deepen our capacity for love. And so just welcoming in compassion for the past and how it does impact the present. It's we like in the, I don't know, this culture of conscious communicating, whatever, I'm not really sure what to call it, but there's a lot of talk about being present, and it's a beautiful thing. And also recognizing that the past does still have this I'm not sure what's the word. It has a pull on keeping us from the present. So welcoming in compassion for that really actually creates the space to come back into right here and right now.
Yeah. And I guess my final statement would be that we were able to examine all of this and move with all of this because this morning there was a little tension. And this is like probably a lesson from our first video. It's just like, oh, little tension, time to communicate.
Yeah.
Like, what's up?
Yeah, we
drop
just
in.
resolved this 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, because it's just like, we could have let this go on. We've done that before.
Simmer
It's like,
through
oh,
the
we're
day,
both angry
affect
at
our
each other.
day.
But like, all right, something ain't right. This is going to affect me all day. I just really want to resolve it.
Yeah, and we did it.
Cool. All right. Peace.
Bye.